Hey, welcome to On the Chain. This is Jeff, not here with co-host Chip. That'll be tomorrow night. Tonight, we are going to talk about freedom, XRP, crypto. There's a lot to get into because really, as you look at this, as you look at the opportunities that crypto is presenting itself on a global scale, it's all about freedom. It's about personal freedom, and it's about long-term wealth creation, taking responsibility for yourself, for your family, for your friends. The SEC stifling innovation, harmful new legislation rammed into this infrastructure bill, $1 trillion infrastructure bill in the US. And there's some crypto legislation that could be the undoing. So we need to get into all of that and so much more. I don't know how we're going to kick this thing off. You guys ready? I'm ready. So we got to go. Let's go.
Welcome to On the Chain.
First thing you guys got to do, if you haven't done so already, it's bright and early morning. Make sure you run out, grab yourself a nice cup of espresso. If you're like Stuart and you're over in Dubai, make sure you get some good coffee over there, man. If you get the Turkish coffee, it's just so amazing. And in the Middle East, you get the level of coffee, the dark coffee. It's kind of like a black coffee. They call it like a mud coffee. They cook it right on the stove. You just put all the grounds right into the water, boil it up, and it's outstanding. But otherwise, you get the Italian espresso stovetop cooker and make yourself some espresso, and you guys will be all set. So what is up? Good to see you, Ozcon. We got people, piling in here from all over the world, not just here in the US. I want to start off in an interesting place. So before we get into a lot of these other variables of things that we can discuss, I want to talk about a tweet that John Deaton put out talking about a new trial attorney that is coming on board for the SEC. So let's see what we got here. XRP Verino is drinking some Sumatra on high levels. You're just packing in the coffee, get as much as you can. So got Cornwall, England, all the way in. Let's see here. Baron Jelly. Nice. Got a lot of people that come in from the UK, from England, from Scotland, from Ireland. We got a lot of people from Australia. We got people over in the Middle East that tune in, people down in Africa, people in Latin America. We even had someone the other day, someone tuning in from Cuba, and we've got Zahara here from Iraq. So welcome to everybody. Great to see you guys. Now, before I get into the tweet from John Deaton talking about the new SEC trial attorney, I do want to bring this up. Today's show brought to you by permission.io. If you guys haven't checked it out yet, go to permission.io, check it out. You can download a web browser extension. So you download this extension, and you guys know you're out looking around the internet and there's ads everywhere. There's always ads popping up. They could be Google ads, they could be Facebook ads, whatever ads they are. They're taking your data and making billions and billions of dollars off of your data. So permission.io allows you to monetize your data, take control of your data. You download that browser extension. Every so often when permission.io sees some relevant content, they'll say, hey, do you want to engage with this ad? You say yes. You watch a short video and you get compensated in ask tokens. So they actually pay you for your data. You get monetized by watching that video in ask token, ASK. It's very cool, very easy. You can hold that, hodl it. Bitrue is one of the exchanges that you can put the ask token on. They have the permission wallet. It's really, really cool. Go check it out, permission.io. So, all right, let's get into John Deaton tweeting about a brand new trial attorney all the way from the SEC. See if we can pull this up here. Got it? There we go. See what we got here. So John Deaton says he just made an appearance in the SEC v. Ripple case for the SEC as a trial attorney for the SEC. Now, there's been a lot of commentary on the fact that the SEC and Ripple are looking for a settlement. Now, this new development here that there's a brand new attorney joining, there could be different perspectives on this. However, this attorney is a trial attorney. So John Deaton succinctly brings this up. And he says right here, it could mean a few things. Maybe someone else on the team is stepping down. Possible. Maybe it means they think it's going to trial and they're lining up a trial team. Now, as we take a step over to what Ripple's perspective is, and if you go back, right, look at Chris Larson, Brad Garlinghouse, their attorney, their primary attorney, Alderadi. And so you look at it, and they appear to want to go the distance. They want not just some mediocre settlement, but they want a complete outcome. One of the things that they voiced very well is that this SEC case against Ripple, it's not SEC v. Ripple, it's SEC v. the entire crypto community. So is it possible that there's going to be a settlement in the days or weeks to come, like some people are analyzing? You could analyze this in so many ways. One of the things that we've talked about a lot here, not coming from an attorney's perspective, coming from a very observatory perspective, that here's what Ripple said, here's what Ripple's doing, here's what the SEC wants to accomplish on their side of it. We know that if the attorney from Ripple has come out in public and said, we need to get full clarity, this is a battle of the SEC v. The crypto community, do you think that they're going to settle with some mediocre outcome where there's absolutely no clarity on XRP, on crypto? Because that then becomes a quote unquote Ripple test versus the Howey test, because every other case after this could then be weighed and compared to this SEC v. Ripple case. They know it. They go down in the history books for who knows how long, forever. Basically, you're in the history books, you're in the legal books. It becomes case study to say this is one of the biggest cases in the crypto history to date. Maybe there'll be more in the future, but it has a lot of significance. And so you look at what John Deaton's bringing up here, the SEC bringing on a new attorney. Yes, someone might have stepped down. They had to fill the space. However, he's a trial attorney. This is his experience, and he points it out. Trial attorney, U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, September 20th to present. So that, to me, is important. Now you look at, as we go through XRP Babs, maybe they need extra help to work out the settlement. Dictator Know-It-All, look at this court case. He's involved in settlement. Interesting picture. And so Dictator Know-It-All is saying, hey, I'm still going with the settlement idea. However, let's get into, hang on a minute. Okay, let's see what's going crazy over here on the screen. So he was a trial attorney for the U.S. Department of State as well, 2008 to 2020, for 12 years. That's his objective. So here, maybe they need extra help. Coining 203, exactly what I thought, because that's possible, right? However, let's see here. Article says only one of the defendants is settling. What about the other two? Because Dictator Know-It-All references a case where he was one of the attorneys. Now here you keep going. So he's still going with the settlement idea. Lewis is asking John to explain a little bit. So John comes back and he said, sorry, he made his appearance in the case as an attorney representing the SEC. Before an attorney participates in the case, he or she files a notice to the court introducing himself and letting the court know which side or party he represents, right? So I guess it's he, she, I don't know, he says, my bad. I guess she, SDK says she is a trial attorney. John says, my bad. Okay. So it doesn't look like a settlement is in sight from Yassine. So it's interesting as people are analyzing this and looking at this, there's some that are going to analyze it towards settlement, some that are going to analyze it against. Nobody really knows right now. It's all opinion and conjecture at this point, just based on what's being presented. X-Men XRP, I love this, because you're going through and you're seeing the thought process of many within the community, how they're looking at this and trying to analyze it. But X-Men XRP says this case will go to trial. Let's make that very clear. The SEC will do everything in their power to disrupt this tech. I have seen this thousands of times over and over again. Prepare for war. It's never going to end the way we think. As always, John, great work from you, from your end. Love you. So, good point that, the SEC is really pinpointing this disruptive tech. And there's other things that are happening within government that you could then say, hey, you know what? Maybe there is a specific agenda. Maybe there is a specific initiative towards a specific outcome. And this case is really kind of stuck in the middle of it. Or maybe it's the spearhead of the objective. So, let's see what we have here. CNF, I disagree. The SEC are getting spanked and they know it. They'll cut their losses rather than risk not being able to go after all the other cryptos. Now, that statement, if that's the fact, if they're going to back out, and meaning that they can't go after other cryptos, means that, from that statement, I'm not saying this, I'm just using these ideas to further workshop this. But, if you end up with a weak settlement where there's really no true outcome or clarity derived from the settlement as to whether or not XRP is a security, isn't a security, whether or not the SEC has jurisdiction over XRP, or whether the SEC has jurisdiction over anything that is a non-security, which they don't. So then there's actually more battle going on between the SEC and the CFTC to determine who has true jurisdiction over something like this. The outcome of this case could be very meaningful in that conversation to make that determination. Is cryptocurrency a currency, or does it fall in line with a security? Because if it's a currency, or if it's a spendable asset, or a method of payment, which we're going to look through some articles in a little bit on that, then it's not a security and the SEC has no jurisdiction over it. So we need clear outcome, from this is the biggest case in history. It's not just, Ripple and the SEC trying to, come up with some outcome. And the SEC does lose battles. They just cover it up. They're not very outspoken about the cases that they lose. That's just, a fact. But here it says, Michaela Graham is saying, it's a bad suit that they can't win. Fair notice defense alone is going to sink it. So it doesn't matter who they bring, can't change the facts. It's great. This conversation got really, really deep. I like it. I love the fact that there's so many bright people in this space, kind of like, on the chain community. We probably have the brightest of them in the space, in the crypto social media space, YouTube space, are subscribed to On the Chain. And it's obvious based on the commentary. But look at this, the comments and, the thought that is going in, and some of the research and things that people are pulling up as they go through trying to figure out, is there going to be a settlement or isn't there going to be a settlement? And to me, when we're looking at this, how great is it? How great is it, to have, so many people going through this and trying to figure it out? I mean, it's outstanding. And a lot of the people that are commenting and getting involved in the investment in this space are phenomenal, tremendous. Right. I mean, it's outstanding to see the passion and everything that's going into it. So, that's what I like. So anyhow, let me take a break here. Hang on. Ralph Raymond, what is up? Okay. So let's see. You talking to me? Hey, you talking to me? Let's see here. Nether Nuts. What's BitBoy banned from YouTube? Hinman didn't depose. 3, clear market manipulation on price. 4, Nexus FUD. 5, new layer FUD. Price is going to rocket in the next 48 hours. I didn't see that BitBoy was banned from YouTube, but that's interesting. So that I would have to see that. I had no idea. I don't know. Oskin SEC hired settlement attorney. Silence is golden, or silence, does that say is gold? Yes. Let's not get away from the fact the SEC is harming the U.S. investors, the very people they're supposed to protect. In my opinion, they've forgotten what they're supposed to be doing. Hey, you know what? This is a great time for a segue into something. So, all right. So that was good time spent on dissecting that. Now there are a couple of bills that are on the table. One bill is from let me pull it up here. Hang on a second. I don't have it open. So there's a bill that was just presented that is proposing that the U.S. Treasury have full authority over fiat stablecoins. And yeah, we can get into and dissect this. And it's interesting, because this bill is called the Digital Asset Market Structure and Investor Protection Act of 2021. And so, it's interesting. We start seeing bills coming in that some of them will make sense. Some of them don't make sense. And it's very possible that we're being presented with some bills that are contrary to the development of this space. And so let me pull up. Hang on, let me pull up the bill. Well, this is actually more commentary on the bill. So this is let me see. This came from Rep. Don Bayer, Democrat, Virginia. This bill, let's see, innovation in the digital assets act. Okay, so here's the bill. Let me share this on the screen. Hang on, because we're gonna dissect this. Then I want to get into some statements and some video from the SEC. Then I want to get some commentary from Congressman Warren Davidson. That is the godfather, so to speak, of the Token Taxonomy Act. And we know that by far the Token Taxonomy Act, bipartisan, and probably the most well thought out bill that was presented in front of Congress in regards to the digital asset space. And I mean, it's amazing. I'm not even sharing my screen over here. I just realized that. So I'm looking at this. I'm like, hey, I'm looking. You guys aren't looking. So we're going to get into the Warren Davidson thing, but let's dissect this a little bit, shall we? This is, Congressman Bayer, new legislation to regulate digital assets. So this came from his website. So we're going to dissect some of the things that he says here that he put out on the website. Now, one of the things that we know for certain, right? And I like this statement. So he has to come out positive. He wants to put a positive spin on it before we see the negatives that he introduces. I'm just giving you some highlight. So here, innovation in the digital asset sector is creating new goods and services every day, as well as many new high quality jobs. Okay, that's key. That's important. The U.S. should provide a legal and regulatory environment which promotes this type of innovation and growth, right? We want to promote it. Yes, that makes sense. Many of the laws are already on the books. The laws that are on the books need a little tweaking. Now, he's already referencing that we need a legal and regulatory environment to help promote it. Yeah, we have a legal environment. We have a regulatory environment. It needs to be tweaked to reference the digital asset space. So here he gets into, okay, let's go. Digital assets and blockchain tech hold great promise. I like that. So the guy's on board with the idea of digital assets. Assets like Bitcoin and Ether are here to stay. Now, we know that, and Clayton and Hinman have got beat up on multiple times over because of their stance, one on Bitcoin, the other on Ethereum. Within Congress, they're just learning what Bitcoin is, understanding it. They're just learning what Ethereum is. They're just learning what cryptocurrency is. Many of them are seeking for regulation and overburdening law on cryptocurrency, and they have zero understanding of the cryptocurrency space. So So here, we have right out of the gate, he's talking about the benefit, and then he's talking about how Bitcoin and Ethereum are here. They're not going away. Now, he comes out, he says, unfortunately, the current digital asset market structure and regulatory framework is ambiguous and dangerous. Dangerous. Now, pay close attention to his words, because words are very, very meaningful in terms of structuring one's opinion and thought process. Obviously, when you read something and they start out with a positive, they immediately inject a negative. You start thinking the direction that he's going in. What is this bill going to do? Is this bill going to be a net positive, or is this bill going to be a net negative and departure from everything that we know is real? Okay, so let's go on. Digital asset holders have been subjected to rampant fraud, theft, and market manipulation for years, right? So now he's making his case that digital asset holders in mass have been subjected to rampant fraud and theft. Now, we know that fraud has occurred. We know that theft has occurred. Is it rampant? Is it so dangerous for investors and consumers out there that they're afraid to invest in this space? Is it so dangerous that people all over the world have been seeking Bitcoin and digital assets and cryptocurrency and XRP and Ethereum and Litecoin and the thousands and thousands of other digital assets as a means to look for long-term financial gain, some for short-term, some to offset the failing currencies of their own countries? So you see where he's going with this. You see what his thought process is. This guy isn't in favor of cryptocurrency. He wants to over-regulate it because he believes that the people need his help. He believes that the decentralized market isn't decentralized and it needs a centralized fist to pound it into the ground. That's what he thinks. Yet Congress has ignored entreaties of industry experts and federal regulators to create a comprehensive. Yes, that's true. That's true. Congress has definitely ignored industry experts. Congress has definitely ignored the Token Taxonomy Act. It sat in the Financial Services Committee 3 times. 3 times. Our laws are behind the times. His bill, he says, his bill would start the long overdue process of updating them to give holders and investors basic protections. Now, he's going to hide all of this bill behind the idea that he's protecting the investors. Now, I agree with him. I agree with that statement 100%. Investors need basic protection. Some of it from the overzealousness of congressional representatives like him. Now he goes into it. Look, we don't, since 2008. Okay, now look at this. Now he says really important things. So I think the guy is a little bit confused with everything. I think he's confused is what it is. He's listened to the wrong people. So because he says some important things here, so he can't take away. Digital assets have evolved from technological curiosities into financial instruments used by millions of ordinary Americans. Millions upon millions of people around the world. There's 11,000 separate digital assets and a market cap of 1.5 million. Now, so the guy is making his statements because he wants to, package it in such a way that you believe that he really cares about the development of the space. And maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't. How do you know? It's not clear from what he's writing. An estimated 20 to 46 million Americans own Bitcoin and other digital assets, and the number is expected to grow. I agree 100%, right? We can't disagree with that. Many of these, now look at this. Look at this. This is This is so key. Now, this is again where he leaves the farm. Complete departure from reality. Complete 100% departure from reality. Okay, ready? Many of these digital market participants, get ready for this, are average Americans, yes, rather than large corporate institutional investors. Yes, okay? Now, underscore this word many. Now, many, right? Many have been victims of theft during trading platform hacks. Many. Some. Is it many? Have many been subjected to theft during platform hacks? What is the one thing that we say? If it's not your key, it's not your crypto. People in the crypto space understand how to protect it. Then it falls on the shoulders of a Coinbase or an Uphold or one of those exchanges to protect their investors, their customer base. But he's saying many have been victims of theft or exposed to significant market manipulation or fraud, like Ponzi schemes. So we know that some of that exists. Is it many? Is it many of the investors of the 20 to 46 million Americans? Is it many of them, or is it a few of them? What is it? Which is it? We know it's not many. We know it's some. We know it exists. We know it happens, but it's not many. Why create fact when it's not fact? Why have to, pile on? And granted, yes, and the thing is, there are scams out there, and you have to be very cognizant of the scams. We all know people that potentially got caught up in scams, but you know what? My phone rings every single day telling me that my social security number has expired, or my Microsoft computer isn't working, and if I only dial 2 or I call this number back, they're going to help me. Or my social security number was determined to be fraudulent, and therefore there's a bill out, there's a warrant out for my arrest, and if I call this number right now, some guy over in Mumbai, John over in Mumbai, is going to help me. There's fraud everywhere. Everywhere you look, there's fraud and Ponzi schemes and issues. It's not unique to the crypto space. He's trying to make it sound like it's unique to the crypto space. Digital assets have widely been used for money laundering and illicit purposes. Okay. What about fiat currency? Hasn't fiat currency been used for illicit purposes for eons? For instance, the May 2021 Colonial Pipeline, which provides gas to much of the East, had its computer systems hacked. Weren't those guys caught? Yes, did they just pay it and the guys just disappeared and they didn't find them? I swear they caught those guys. And it was very interesting, the timing of it, when they got rid of the pipeline in Texas, and then all of a sudden, the Colonial Pipeline's attacked. And then all of a sudden it's Bitcoin because they're ganging up on Bitcoin and they're trying to put some spin to it. Do they realize that Bitcoin is traceable? That there's organizations out there that track wallets down and look for evidence to connect it back to an organization? Does he not realize that? Fiat currency goes untraceable. I remember over $1 billion was dropped off on a boat to the regime in Iran in fiat currency. Much of that money that was sent ended up in the hands of terrorists. That was fiat currency. That was sent by the government. Now, this guy, if he was in Congress, I don't know. We'd have to look and see if he was in Congress. He was probably responsible for those billions of dollars being sent over to Iran. So, hey. It's crazy, right? So now let's look at this. Despite the rapidly growing importance of Bitcoin and other digital assets in our economy, there's no comprehensive legal framework right? No legal framework to regulate the digital asset market to protect. Now, I love this, right? To regulate it to protect the market participants. I mean, it's insane. Everything that has been said in here is a contradiction. This guy doesn't care about the development of innovation in the cryptocurrency space. All he cares about is regulation, taxation, limiting of innovation. That's what he cares about. Because if he cared about the cryptocurrency space, he would probably be a signer on the bill called the Token Taxonomy Act. One of the things that was told to me a couple years ago by a congressional office was that there's two clear paths between the two political sides. The Democrats always coming out portraying themselves as protectors of the market participants. The Republican side of the bills will come out in terms of promoting innovation and independent freedom to make more money, to invest, to help companies build. Two distinct paths. At some point, they have to come together. That's why you have bipartisan bills. It can't be over heavy on protecting market participants like this one, supposedly cloaked in, or it can't be too heavy on always promoting just business. There needs to be a balance. Businesses can't be protected at the jeopardy of the individual user. Case in point, Twitter, Facebook, etc. have the laws overly protect big business, social media, at the risk of the individual user not being able to express themselves on a platform that's supposed to be private and free by individuals that are portraying themselves to promote ideas and the sharing of thoughts. They hide under the idea of being progressive. Progressive means being advanced. Conservative supposedly means being less advanced. Not true. It's the exact opposite. Progressive, hiding behind the words. What do we say in the beginning? Words have meaning. One side is always fighting to win this battle, and the battle is terminology. He who creates the terminology wins the battle. If you can create the terminology, if I can make everybody believe that progressive means open and fair and thought-provoking, I win. However, if you can get people to understand that they're hiding behind this idea of progressiveness and actually promoting fascist ideology, they lose. The battle on terminology, right here. It's in this bill. It's right in front of us, right? To protect market participants. That idea of what they're trying to do to protect market participants. I can't believe I spent all this time just dissecting this. I mean, it's truly unbelievable. I mean, you can get through this. Unbelievable, you know? So Buford says 2 to 3 billion people on the planet are currently unbanked. They might get access to financial services. Some will be swindled. Is it better to let them not get access to financial services? Exactly. So think about from what Buford just said. There's billions of people that are unbanked. In order for them to be banked, they have to work with banking entities that themselves have been caught up in fraud after fraud after fraud. Deutsche Bank, again, caught up in fraud. So these are the entities that we're going to turn to because you have an individual like Rep. Bayer who's introducing a bill that says he wants to protect the market participants. Where are they when we're being scammed by other entities within the space. Holy cow. It's unbelievable. I mean, it really is, great point, Buford, because being able to give financial services through this cryptocurrency space that is building puts money into the hands of anybody that can carry this. Anybody who has a cell phone. Cell phones can be cheap. They don't have to be $800. They're $800 because Google, or not Google, but Samsung and Apple want to make a shit ton of money. That's why they're expensive. They're not $800 because there's more technology in this phone than in the gaming computer sitting in front of me with a super powerful video card. Why is my phone the same price almost as the laptop in front of me? That makes no sense. How much technology is really in here? What is the cost of the chip that goes in here? Is it really $800? Do we really need to replace these phones every single year? No, because they want to make a shit ton of money. Now, there are phones out there that cost $100, that cost $50. They can still run a version of Android that is powerful. You can still have people being able to collect their cryptocurrency on their cell phone and spend it and collect it and invest in it and invest in their future. They can bank themselves. Buford brings up the most important point: financial services. The reason why there's so much poverty is because these individuals have no access to these financial services. It becomes a major issue. So if they have access to financial services, think about it. Think about what all of this stuff can provide. Think about it. With the smart contracts and the smart finance and platforms where you can take some asset and you can leverage the asset and you can earn interest on it, you can borrow against it. At some point, you're going to be able to borrow money to invest in your business or rent a car, lease a truck, whatever it is, buy real estate, rent real estate, whatever it is, using cryptocurrency, digital asset. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But these people that are unbanked, it's the first time in their life where they could have access to financial services. In order to get out of poverty, you need access to financial services. You need to be banked. Why do you need to be banked? You need to be banked because then you get access to all these other things. It's so critical. I mean, it's amazing. So anyhow. Holy cow. So let's see what else we got. Hang on. All right. So we got rid of that one. We dissected that a little bit. Okay. Now here's the other side of the coin. So I find this interesting. So we have one side, Texas, it's huge. Okay. Now, on the other side, now this is on CNBC. Cryptocurrencies can be a tool for building personal wealth long term. Now, how great is that? How great is it to see a statement like that? Cryptocurrency, now granted, the graphic they're using is a little outdated. Why? Because it has the old Ripple logo on here for XRP, the old XRP logo. But Ethereum, Bitcoin, Litecoin, those are the top four in the heyday. But look at this. Even though it's highly volatile, cryptocurrency can help investors build wealth, especially if they invest in digital coins over the long term. I love this. It's really amazing. Now here, what was that? 1.3% of Americans have purchased or traded crypto in the past year. 24% have traded stock. I don't know if that's 1.3 or 13. Let's see. Doesn't say. Can't tell. All right, whatever. Now we're talking about the whiplash of Bitcoin. Okay, overall, year over year, it's way ahead. Here, it does have a place, especially for those that are younger, said Tyrone Ross, CEO of OnRamp Invest, right? Management technology, part of a larger portfolio plan. I like that statement, right? Here we go. Have a financial plan first and figure out where crypto fits into it. Is it part of the plan? Can it be the whole plan? Can you diversify your plan as part of your long-term portfolio? Why? Because over the long term, everybody knows it's advancing. Now, you have people like Congressman Bayer that disagree. They want to stifle it. They want to tax it. They want to overburden it here in the US as the rest of the world is expanding. Now, let me pull up another statement here. This came from Warren Davidson again. He's the key guy behind the Token Taxonomy Act, along with Darren Soto, who is a Democrat. Warren Davidson, a Republican, came together on a bipartisan bill to help the people. Help the people. That's what it's all about. They introduced the Token Taxonomy Act to make adjustments to the Securities Act and the Securities Exchange Acts from 1933 and 1934. 90 years old. 90 years ago. There was no Bitcoin 90 years ago. There was no computer 90 years ago. There wasn't even a Howey test 90 years ago when they introduced these bills. They created the Securities Exchange Commission in order to help oversee and regulate, because there was a lot of fraud at the time, a lot of uncertainty. They had to create the rules of the road, the rules of engagement. Congressman Warren Davidson, Darren Soto wanted to tweak it to include the digital asset space. Congressman Bayer wants to blow it up, wants to ignore, wants to create a whole new legal framework for digital assets. All you need to do is make a determination as to whether or not a digital asset is a currency, a spendable asset, or a security. You don't need any other laws other than that. You just need clarity. You create clarity, you can then therefore apply it to all the laws that are on the books. Government is always overreaching, trying to create new laws when they don't even uphold the laws that are already existing on the books. Now, let me put this up. Congressman Warren Davidson on how the last minute Bitcoin tax bill is bad for America. Okay, so there is a bill being proposed to be jammed into the $1 trillion infrastructure bill. Right? Okay, hang on. Let's slide it over here. See if we can pull it over here. There it is. Crypto tax law slipped into the $1 trillion infrastructure bill. This is on payments.com. The estimated, am I showing? Yep. The estimated $1 trillion bipartisan infrastructure bill could be partially funded, right? Check this out. They want to fund the $1 trillion infrastructure bill that 95% of it doesn't even go to the infrastructure, by taxes levied on cryptocurrency and digital asset transactions. Tell me again that Gensler at the SEC and the rest of his cohorts are in favor of the digital asset space, or are they looking at it as a means to bolster their political platform, which is tax and spend, tax, overtax, the overzealousness of their ideas to be punitive and punish those that are looking for long-term stability in their personal life, long-term freedom in the United States. Do you think if they overtax and overburden this space, that innovation is going to continue? Or do you think it's going to decrease? Do you think overtaxation is going to tell these companies that are innovating in cryptocurrency, hey, let's all go to the United States. The United States is overtaxing our innovative technology, so let's go there so everybody investing in it can spend a significant portion of that investment on taxes? Or are they going to say, hey, let's go to Japan or Singapore or somewhere where the regulatory framework and the taxation framework is a little bit more friendly to the crypto space? What do you think? Now, why at the last minute would they jam in legislation on a cryptocurrency on cryptocurrency and digital assets when they haven't even thought through the Token Taxonomy Act that's been in front of them 3 times in the Financial Services Committee under the guidance of Maxine Waters, who has ignored it 3 times in a row. You tell me that. Is this political? I think so. It becomes political. Economics becomes political. Financial gain becomes political. It's a fact. We have to embrace that. We have to empower ourselves. We have to have knowledge of what's happening all around us. That's what's so amazing about this space. People have come into the cryptocurrency space all over the world, many of them younger, many of them older, many of them investing in anything for the very first times of their lives, never investing in stock, ever. Coming into the crypto space, looking for an opportunity, looking for a long-term strategy to gain personal wealth over the long term. Some of the cryptocurrencies will go away. In some cases, there has been fraud. In some cases, there has been theft. We need a little bit of clarity. We don't need regulation that is going to overburden this new asset class or overtax this new asset class. It's insane. The provision would require anyone engaged in the transfer of digital assets to report information to the IRS. Okay, that's great. Okay, fine. When you make money, not transfer, when you make money, you buy or sell, it gets reported. So if the exchange, Coinbase, Uphold, whatever it is, if you buy an asset and you sell said asset, it gets reported. If you buy said asset, it doesn't get reported. Security brokers, yes, buy and sell if there is a profit or a loss. Here, the bill proposed mandates businesses report digital asset deals in excess of $10,000. 10,000 is always a critical point, whether you're bringing money in the country or whatever. 10,000 is always a pivotal mark. Now we get into this, blah, blah, blah. The space has had zero clarity. That's true. So look, it took the Senate. So 2008, 10 years, 12 years, 13 years. But it took the Senate a few days to use crypto tax as a pay for bloated infrastructure bills. They're like, wait, well, let's see. Let me see. Let me get these guys on the phone. Oh yeah. Okay. You guys over at the SEC and everywhere else, all the Democrats in Senate that have been ignoring. Let me see. Can I get them on the phone? No. They've been ignoring the cryptocurrency space for 12 years, for 13 years. They've ignored the Token Taxonomy Act that's been sitting in front of the Financial Services Committee, 3 congressional sessions. It hasn't been advanced. It's in committee. They don't discuss it. It sits there. What's going on? Why is there no regulatory clarity? You have a bill that could have done it, but no. But in days, now most of these senators that are probably voting on passing this have no clue what Bitcoin is, have no clue what digital assets are. They've never read a white paper, but they know what taxes are. They know people are making money and they're greedy and they want your tax dollars to pay for an infrastructure bill that 95% of the bill won't even go towards infrastructure. It's insane. It's insane. Look at this. I like this. And this Warren Davidson, he doesn't know if this decision was skillfully crafted or maliciously ignorant. I'm going to fall on the side of maliciously ignorant because I know for a fact that those senators that voted on it do not understand the cryptocurrency space one iota. Zero. It's insane. Under the proposed measure, the IRS would be empowered to go after taxes owed to the government, owed that the government hadn't known about since the transactions were required to be reported. Now, everybody needs to pay their taxes. You make a profit, needs to be reported. You have a loss, you get to offset your profits. There's many in this space that have made money and they won't report it. Now, you need to report your profit and loss. That's the rule of the game. Now, instead of rushing through an untested provision with vast unintended consequences, we encourage Congress to work with the industry to find language that works for all stakeholders, keeping America at the forefront of innovation, crypto innovation. That was executive director of Blockchain Association. Where has the Blockchain Association been on the Token Taxonomy Act? Why haven't they been super outspoken about that? I don't know. I don't understand that. I really don't. The tax authority said the cryptocurrency flies under the radar by facilitating illegal activity broadly, including tax evasion. Remember this guy? That's all he cares about in his bill. It's your money. He doesn't care about protecting you. He doesn't really care about this space because he cloaked this message in this bill. Think about it. Think about that. Now we go to Warren Davidson. Why does he think that the bill they're cramming through, they're jamming through the infrastructure bill? Why do they have to jam it into the infrastructure bill? Anyways, if you don't have a means of paying for it, why are you creating it? Why are you going to go after those that are investing, the individual investors? I thought they wanted the investors to make money. I thought they wanted, this is America. They wanted people to do well and protect themselves and their family and think about the long-term viability of what they invest in. So it's crazy, right? America led the Industrial Revolution, the advent of the automobile, and the development of the internet, said Davidson. Right? And now America is about to forfeit that leadership with this new technology. Forfeit it. It's exactly what's happening. Because the powers that be either don't understand it or they have malicious intent around it. We saw Warren Davidson. She doesn't understand the space, but yet somehow she wrote a letter to Gensler asking for regulatory clarity, for regulation to be proposed by the 28th of July. What happened to that? She didn't write that letter. It's amazing. I mean, it's clear. Forget about where anybody stands on the political spectrum, right? Doesn't matter. Democrat, Republican. Why is it that the Democrats are coming out against the crypto space by and large as a whole? Not all of them, because we see bipartisan nature. Why is it that the Republicans are coming out in favor of the cryptocurrencies and digital assets and personal freedom, personal financial freedom, innovation, the ability to build in the space, protecting the leadership position, and all these people outside the US, but protecting the leadership position of the United States in this new technology? Not saying the leader, but leadership position. Man, I'll tell you what. Davidson called on the Bitcoin community to jam up the phone lines of the elected officials and implore them to fight the cryptocurrency tax language in the bill. You won't want to miss this, right? So then it's a full podcast. I don't know. I was just, I pulled some statements out of that. Holy cow. Holy cow. I covered two things. There you go. I mean, it's crazy, crazy stuff. It's crazy. I mean, it doesn't even make sense anymore, right? You got to make sense of it. You got to find the path and you got to make sense of it. Now, while all this is going on, right? While all this is going on, I'm trying to find it. Here it is. What time is it? Oh, man. Look at that. Okay. While all this is going on, right? We have the crypto space. We've got, oh, hang on a second. Oh, hang on. All right. There we go. Started playing right away. I can definitely hear it. So it's going. Norseman, big shout out. Crypto's official corner man, Jeff. Appreciate you. You know what that is. Everybody get ready because we're going to do some wows. Here we go. Look at that. Chip's not here for the sound effects, but imagine that. Blue loop, blue loop, blue loop. Appreciate that support. Appreciate it. You are the man. You guys are amazing. You guys, we got the smartest people in the crypto space. So, Coco Candy, what is going on? Glad to have you with us today. Glad you're commenting. The coffee that I am drinking is Segfredo. So you can get the Segfredo. If you go, I forget the website, probably segfredo.com. You can order it. Sometimes they have it on Amazon. You got to get the red bag, get the whole bean. So you got to grind the beans. But it is by far one of the best coffees that you'll get. Segfredo is a great brand and just outstanding. So that's the brand. That's what I got. So, all right. So I got to pull this up. Chip sent this over to me. He goes, "You're not going to believe this. You got to watch this. What's up, Mike's Crypto?" So we got to take a look at this for a second. I mean, this is so Gensler at the SEC. Everyone said, "Hey, it's going to be good for crypto, good for business, all this stuff." The guy knows crypto. He used to teach over at MIT and all this good stuff. Man, I wish I got to get that set up. EOX. I got no discount. I keep talking about the other one that I like, Coco. The other good coffee is Death Wish. Go check out Death Wish. I think they have it at the grocery stores. I know you can get it at Publix or at Target, but you can order it online. They definitely have it on Amazon. Death Wish coffee, also really, really good. They use an organic bean. It's just like overall just really good quality. So all right, so we got to look at this briefly, and we're going to dissect this briefly. Then I want to look at Chip's commentary on it briefly. So Gensler is having office hours. Now he's talking about the SEC and climate risk disclosure. He's not talking about climate change anymore. They're not talking about all this stuff. The last I looked, the SEC has to do with securities. The Securities Exchange Commission, looking at business and business practice in terms of just at what point did they become the climate police? What in the world is going on here? It's like we're in a parallel universe. Hey, you know what? You can be a Democrat, you can be a Republican. I don't care. When you go full blown crazy, I care. Doesn't matter what side you're on. You take the SEC, and now the SEC is now legislating, or not legislating, but investigating climate risk disclosures. What in the world? What kind of insanity is this? Hang on. Look at this. Let me fast forward. Office hours.
With climate, and why is the chair of the SEC talking about climate?
Exactly. He just asked the question himself. Why is this chair of the SEC talking about climate? That's it. What insanity is this? Why did they make a video? They obviously put a lot of thought into how they can get the SEC coming out for a kiddie video. This is a kiddie video. This isn't meant for big business. This is meant for elementary school. Look at the graphics. Look at how he's talking. Look at the easy language. Why? Why in the world are they spinning this that the SEC cares? Come on, hang on.
Well, you see, one of the most important innovations in our capital markets came along during the Great Depression, when we began requiring public disclosure of important information from companies that wanted to raise money from us. The basic bargain is this: investors get to decide what risks they wish to take. Companies, though, that are raising money from us have an obligation to share information with investors on a regular basis. Now,
Share, yes. I want to know your financials. Share, don't commit fraud. Don't create deception. I want to know who holds what shares. I want to know what shares were sold. I want to know all the financial aspects of the business. That's it. If I'm investing in your business, I want to know your profit loss. I want to know your sales. I want to know the product. If I like the product, I'm going to invest in it. This is awesome. You know, I just have to bring this up for one more second. Hang on.
First disclosures, those revolved around companies' financial performance.
Yes, financial performance. Yes, that's it.
For example, how much revenue did the company have or profits last year or last quarter? Then there was investor demand for information about who runs the company.
Yes, we want to know who runs the company.
Who's the president? Who's the chief financial
Again, you just like with Bayer, cloaking it in fact before they launch in to the fallacy.
officer
Hang on.
and the like. Later, investors wanted more information on how much a company's resources were dedicated to paying those
Yes, we want to know this.
executives. Today, investors increasingly want to understand the climate risk.
No, they don't. Investors increasingly want to know the climate risk of a company. that is the departure from reality. What investor in their right mind has come to a company and said, I want to understand the climate risk of your company? Let's see. Every company, every single one, Apple, Amazon, General Motors, Ford, any nuclear power plant, any coal plant, any manufacturer of any product, anything. Every company. Is there climate risk? I don't know. But it could be every company. It could be any company. You don't know because the SEC should not be responsible for it, and investors don't care. There's no way that many investors, the way they phrase it, are coming to the SEC and saying, hey, you know what, guys over at the SEC, oh, look, hey, let me call them up. Oh, I took out my earbud already. Hey, you know what, SEC, you know what I really, really care about when I'm looking at my stock portfolio? I really care about what the climate risk is. You know what, SEC, hey, hello, yeah, okay, SEC. So yeah, I really care about that. That's like my top priority. I'm going to put that number one on the list, what the potential climate risk is of all these companies all over the world. Yeah, that's exactly what I want the SEC to be investigating. Oh, you guys are economists? You're not scientists? Have you hired scientists? No, you guys are just political. So that's like a political spin on what the SEC is responsible for. Oh, okay, I get it. So it's all politics and has nothing else to do with anything else. Oh, okay, thank you. I mean, this is insane. Pure insanity. Pure insanity. Coco Candy, appreciate you. You're so awesome. Thank you for keeping the crypto community updated. Jeff and Chip are always on point. Hey, you're so awesome. You know what that means. I got to get this going here. Another wow here. Big wow for Coco Candy, and a thank you for your support. Appreciate you. Okay, I got to go just one little bit longer here because we just looked at that. Now I have to let Chip comment in here because Chip did put out some tweet on it. So we're going to go to Chip's tweet storm here for a second. And I want to see what Chip in this multi-tweet discussion put out here. So Chip says, SEC chair puts out his office hours video first. It's his first one. And he talks about climate risk. That's right, climate risk. Not investor protection, not cryptocurrency. He's talking about climate risk. A political talking point. Chip brings it up, a Democrat talking point. That's it. Has nothing to do with investors, nothing to do with cryptocurrency. The biggest case in crypto history in front of us, the SEC v. Ripple. Say something. Come out and say something in your office hours that are all, well produced. I don't know how well produced that is, but it's produced, dummied down a little bit. Come on. So number two, what does the SEC have to do with the climate? Absolutely nothing. Chip, absolutely nothing. The SEC was created to protect investors. The SEC is failing miserably by not protecting XRP investors. Why? Because the SEC has come out and attacked the XRP investors in statement in writing. And they even said they're not intelligent enough. Unbelievable. Gary Gensler and the SEC are severely misguided. Look at this. Exactly. This is the question. Nothing. The SEC has nothing to do with it. Stay out of it. You're there to protect investors so they don't get fraud. They don't get cheated. You can make sure there aren't companies that are cooking their books. Zero to do with climate. Get that out of finance. Get it out. Chip, today investors want to understand the climate risk of the companies whose stock they own. No, they don't. Please show us the data. This is a concern for investors. And he said many, like every investor wants to know the climate risk. Come on. Now, if a company is caught, let's say you invest in J&J or I don't know, one of these companies that make pharmaceuticals and chemicals, and they decide they're going to start dumping their waste. Now, when that gets found out, the investor is going to find out about it. And when you find out about it, you're going to dump your shares. And you're going to be like, what the heck? Then it's going to go to court. You say you illegally dump chemicals in a lake. And people are going to be held responsible. The SEC is not that agency. This is asinine. It makes no sense. So please show us the data. I'll argue it's an initiative put forward by government, not by investors. 4, why is Gary Gensler talking about climate risk? Investors don't care about climate risk. They care about dollars and cents. That's it. Dollars and cents. That's all that matters. The only thing investors are concerned about is more government overreach regarding regulating so-called climate risk. It doesn't matter what side of the fence you stand on in regards to this whole climate thing. Investors care about dollars and cents. That's it. The SEC should not be dabbling in this whole climate discussion. That's it. If you had doubts about Gary Gensler, this confirms it. If you want the whole sword mess, there you go. There's the link. You can go check it out. So there you go. This is what the world has come to. Everything became politics. They're injecting ideology into economics. Makes no sense. They've injected their ideology into cryptocurrency. They're trying to undermine cryptocurrency in an infrastructure bill. Congressman Rep Bayer is trying to undermine cryptocurrency by injecting certain language into, hang on a second, let me get rid of this. They're injecting it left and right. It's crazy. I mean, enough is enough already. Enough is enough. It's crazy. Hang on. WEF is coordinating more than monetary system. All world leaders are involved. Second has never been more important. I mean, it's insane. None of this has any fabric of reality. Nothing. There's no bearing on our existence from a financial perspective. Stay in their lane. Keep talking about the economics of it. Don't do last minute bills. This is like last year, they tried to cram in the US digital dollar, and they try to hide things into bills so you don't know about it. You don't see it. You don't get to read it. You don't get to understand it. So I went way too long, you guys. It's already too long. You guys are amazing. Appreciate everybody that's on here. If you guys have never been here before, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notifier, hit the thumbs up. This was a critical conversation, from my opinion anyways. I think we need to dissect it. We need to know exactly what's going on, everywhere. So again, if you guys don't know and you're brand new here, we do stream 6 days a week, Sunday through Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and every Saturday morning. Oh, today's Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't need it, Jeff. Don't need it. You get fired up. We get fired up. That's all. We are getting fired up. It's all good. It is all good. We love you guys. You guys Everyone's going to come with a slightly different opinion on subject matter. We love when everybody puts their opinions in there, pro, con, discussion. Everybody's respected on the chain. And that's what's most important. We appreciate everybody that's here, and we'll check you guys out on the next one. How about that? We'll see you guys tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am out.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.